Let's add stairs, slabs, doors, trapdoors, pressure plates, and a whole bunch of other non-block blocks to Minecraft. 121 Minecraft modding course is available down below, with over 11 hours of content covering everything from the basics all the way to block entities and custom mobs. Alright, we're back on channel once more, and in this tutorial we're going to be adding a custom, multiple custom blocks, multiple custom non-block blocks as I like to call them, and they will include the following list, and this is going to be the full list: stairs, slabs, pressure plates, buttons, fences, fence gates, walls, doors, trapdoors. That's the full list. It's going to be absolutely insane. And these will be the reason, or one of the reasons, why we did DataGen before. Because when you see those JSON files, those block states JSON files from the button, when you think, oh, come on, you know, the stair, the slab, those are probably going to be the complicated ones, right? Maybe the fence. No, the button. That block state JSON file haunts me to this day. But whatever the case may be, let's not focus on this yet. Let's first of all register all of the blocks. It's going to be quite an involved process, so strap in. It's going to be quite interesting. We're going to have a public static final registry object of type block, right? Of type stair block in this case is going to be the Alexandrite_stairs, equal to the register block method. And of course, the name is Alexandrite_stairs. The second parameter is a supplier of a new stair block. There you go. And this is going to take in modblocks.alexandriteblock.get.default block state. And then the second parameter is just going to be the block behavior properties.of with a strength of, let's say, 3. And of course, not a replaceable, but requires correct tools for drop. And now we can duplicate this a couple of times. So we're going to have another one sort of in the double grouping, another double grouping over here. Then we're going to have a triple grouping, and lastly, another double grouping. Yes, this is going to be exactly right. And we're going to go from top down to the bottom. Of course, all of the code is also available to you down below, so no worries at all. There's going to be the registry of a slab block, which is going to be the Alexandrite slab, which is a slab block right here, which only takes in block behavior properties, and that is it. Then we have, instead of a stair block, we have the pressure plate block, and this is of course going to be the Alexandrite_pressure_plate, and then the same thing in here in the name, pressure_plate, and this is a pressure plate block, with the first parameter actually being a block set type. So we're going to do block set type of iron in this case, and that is fine. The next thing is going to be a button block over here. It's going to be a Alexandrite_button, which is a, and you guess, of course, a button block. There you go. With the first parameter also being a block set type, we're going to choose iron again. And the second parameter is actually an integer, and that is how many ticks this is going to be pressed down for. So that's very interesting. So in theory, you could create a 1-tick button if you wanted to. Let's just do it. I mean, what the frick? Why wouldn't we do it? Let's just try this out and see what the heck. Another very important thing on the button is that on the block behavior properties, you want to call the no collision method over here, because buttons actually don't have collision. So keep that in mind. And then we get to the fence. So there's going to be a fence block right here, Alexandrite_fence. Fence, there you go. Same name right here, _fence. And this is going to be a fence block with its first parameter and only parameter only being the block behavior properties. No need to change anything here. Then we have the fence gate block, Alexandrite_fence_gate and _fence_gate. There we friggin' go. Fence gate block over here. And the first parameter here is wood type. Yeah, I don't know why this is the case. I mean, I know why it's the case, but the case is because every fence gate is wooden. So we have to supply wood type, even though it doesn't really require it, because in our case, the fence gate isn't wooden, but there you go. I just use acacia. It really should not matter, but there you go. Then here we have a wall block. So I'm going to build a wall over here. I'm not going to make the same joke that I did last time, because I said that the villagers are going to pay for it, but this is actually the Alexandrite wall. So, you know, there's going to be a wall block over here. And the only parameter here, once again, is just the block behavior properties. So far, nothing too crazy, right? A couple of things, obviously, in the constructors. Sometimes there's a little bit of a difference, but nothing too crazy. Then we get to the door block, Alexandrite_door, and of course, Alexandrite_door, which is a door block. The first parameter here being a block set type as well, and then the block behavior properties, which need, extremely important, the no occlusion called. No occlusion. Double check that you call the correct method over here. Both the door as well as the trap door over here need the no occlusion code because both of them have in their texture, they have pixels that are see-through. And if you have see-through pixels, then you need to call the no occlusion. Otherwise, you're literally just creating a X-ray mod, which is definitely not something you want to create. So no occlusion over here, there you go. And both of them have the block set type of iron, meaning that they can only be opened with a redstone signal. If you want them to be opened with a right click, literally just choose any of the other ones. I'm pretty sure any of the other ones should work, but you can of course always, this is the best basically advice that exists, always just try out stuff as well. All right, and now we have all of them registered. Let's get them all into the creative mode tab because that is usually, or that's an easy thing to miss over here. So that's going to be these stairs. Let's just duplicate this a couple of times. I think that there's a couple of times too many, but that's going to be okay. The pressure plate and then the button, there you go. And then we're going to have a 3 pairing and then a 2 pairing. It's actually exactly the right amount. Oh man, sometimes, you know, you're gonna get that W and then I'll just take it. It's the exact amount of things that we need. And then lastly here, the trap door. And now we got all of them added to the blocks tab. And then, oh boy, then we go to DataGen. Do we go to DataGen or to the rest again? No, let's do DataGen first. The loot, honestly, very, very straightforward because most of this literally just drops itself. So we can just call the drop self method, passing in the stairs over here, let's say, and then just duplicate this a bunch of times again. Because what also drops itself is the pressure plate. The button drops itself. The fence drops itself. The fence gate as well, but I first want the fence because I want the same order, then the gate, then the wall. That's fine. And funnily enough, this is also the correct number of things because 2 things that do not drop themselves, not quite at least, is the slab, because for this, I'm going to do this.add modblocks.alexandrite-slab.get, and the second parameter, once again, a block function over here, calling the create slab item method, and then just passing in the Alexandrite slab again. Now, why this is the case? Well, wait a second. If you have 1 slab, you mine it, you get 1 slab out. If you have a slab on the top of the block, you get 1 slab out. What if you have 2 slabs? Then you can't just drop yourself. You have to drop 2 slabs at that point, right? So that is why this is another one. And the same thing goes for the door. So this is modblocks.alexandrite-door.get. There once again, the block 2 create door table modblocks.alexandrite-door.get. And why is this the case? Because the door is 2 different blocks. And if we do drop self, then it's going to drop 2 block items, like 2 door items, which is 1 too many, I guess. So there you go. And that's the loot. Very, very straightforward. Not quite as straightforward, but still sort of straightforward, I guess, is going to be the block states. The block states are actually going to need 2 helper methods over here. I'm just going to copy them over. There are 2 block items right here. It's not too crazy, but we will need those for the block items for all of them because the methods that we can call, which are pretty cool, so we can call the stairs block method over here for modblocks.stairs.get, and then here say block texture modblocks. This is going to be the Alexandrite block actually, so this is going to be the block.get, Alexandrite block.get. There you go. That works totally fine. However, this does not generate a item model JSON file, which we need. And for that, we can use our custom block item method that I've just copied over, modblocks. It's going to be the stairs. Let's just, and then yeah, that's going to be this one. Oh yeah, this is because this is a registry object of a stair block. What I'm just going to do is I'm just going to generify this. Should be totally fine. You have this already correctly down below, so no worries at all. We're going to have a slab right here. We're going to use the pressure plate. We're going to have the fence gate. And then, no, fence gate, very important. This is the fence gate this time. And then here, the trap door is going to use the other one with the appendix of the underscore bottom. And that is going to be all of them. And then we can call each of individual block methods. So slab block, passing in modblocks. Is going to be the slab, obviously, .get block texture of modblocks. This is going to be, once again, the Alexandrite block.get, and then literally just duplicate the block texture here again. And then what we can do is literally just take these stairs over here and copy it a couple of times, because all of the rest are going to pretty much do the same thing. There's going to be the button block, changing this to the button, done. Changing this to the pressure plate, changing this to the pressure plate. It's always going to take the block texture of the Alexandrite block. So literally that's basically all we need to do. There's going to be the fence block, changing this to the fence, obviously. Changing this to the fence gate block. So this is the fence gate block method. Changing this to the fence gate. And then this is the wall. No, it's written like this, wall block. And then this is the wall, Alexandrite wall. And then the only two that are a little bit different is the door, because this one wants you to, or we want to use the door block with render type, as well as the trapdoor block with render type. The first one here is going to be the Alexandrite door, which does not take in this particular thing, but it actually takes in a ModBlock of block/Alexandrite underscore door underscore bottom. And then we can actually duplicate the ModBlock over here, because the other one is just going to be the top. Now, this is one of those things that you can probably change this up as well, but that's going to be fine. And then the last parameter is a render layer, or a render type rather, which is the cutout render type. A similar thing in the trapdoor right here. This is the trapdoor. And then here a same thing goes. So instead of this, we have the ModBlock of block/Alexandrite underscore trapdoor with a true on orientable, and once again, a cutout. This is apparently not quite true yet. This is correct because I've not set the closing parentheses. There you go. And that is going to be everything we're going to need in this particular class. A little bit crazy, but I'm telling you, you might say, this is way too much. Well, wait a second. Let's say in theory, you have like 8 different sets of these. Well, the first thing you're going to do is take all of those, make a method out of them, change the block over here, right, to make it way easier. So then you, instead of like calling this like 8 different times, right, this like giant thing, you just have one method that you call 8 times, bam, right? Normal programming, you know, duplicate code, you can always just do that. But also, when you see the JSON files that generate, you will be like, you know what? No, I think this is good. Moving on to the ModBlock tag provider. There we go. We wanted to add the block tags of fences. Very important distinction over here. If you add your custom fence to the fences one, then it will be able to basically connect to itself as well as the nether brick fence. If you add it to the wooden fences, it's going to connect to itself and all wooden fences. Keep that in mind. We're going to choose the normal fences one, but you have to add it to one of those. Otherwise, it will not be able to connect to itself. Then we can also do a similar thing to the fence gates over here. This is not strictly necessary, but there's honestly no reason not to do that. It's going to be the fence gate over here. We can also just do gate.get. There you go. And then lastly, which is quite important again, block tags.walls. And this one, once again, is necessary. Otherwise, the wall is not going to connect to itself, which is going to be quite burdensome, not quite what you want. So those are the 3 block tags that we will definitely need. Moving on to the mod item models over here. That's going to be just the little bit different. So the thing we need to do here is we basically are going to have 3 helper methods. I'm just going to copy those over. And the reason why we have those is because, well, we'll see. So you will find that the helper methods here, as you can see, is the button item, the fence item, and the wall item. And the reason why we need them is because they have a specific parent over here that isn't accessible any other way. So we can see there is a button right here for an item model builder. That doesn't quite work the way that, you know, this works. And honestly, it's 3 methods. That's gonna be fine, right? So we're gonna have a button item over here, modblocks.button, then modblocks.alexandrite block. Just duplicate this 2 more times. This is gonna be the fence item, and there's gonna be the wall item. And extremely important, fence item. Double check that you have the fence and that you have the wall right here, right? So not well, but wall. I want the wall. Give me the wall. There you go. There we freaking go. All right. And then the last one is going to be another helper method. It's just going crazier and crazier, which is the simple item over here. And then the last thing we need is for the door. That is actually a simple block item for which we will actually require another helper method. I know it's a little bit crazy, but you can see it is the simple block item ModBlocks dot. This is going to be for the door, because the door is special because it actually has a normal item texture as its item, like as its item representation. Pretty interesting indeed. For the item tags, we don't need anything. However, we do want some recipes. Now, I will be showing 2 of them and we're copying the rest over because they are very straightforward. So you can literally just call the specific method called the stair builder. So you can see this is a stair builder, which literally just takes in the item like. So that's going to be the stairs and then whatever material you need, right? So in this case, it's going to be modblocks.alexandrite stairs.get, and the ingredient is an ingredient.of moditems.alexandrite.get. After the last closing parenthesis, we then need to define a group, Alexandrite. We then need to do an unlocked by, so the same thing that we've seen with the other builders right here. So this is going to be the get has name, passing in Alexandrite, so moditems.alexandrite.get. And then the second parameter here is the has method, moditems.alexandrite.get. And then very importantly, save the .save call with the p-recipe output. So the builder is one type of method that you can call. And then you also sometimes have literally just a slab, which is super easy. You just call that method, pass in the p-recipe output, pass in the recipe category. So let's say, for example, building blocks. Then we pass in whatever the slab is, which is the Alexandrite slab.get, and then the ingredient moditems.alexandrite.get. And that is going to generate this also automatically without you having to do the save method like manually, because in this case, this is also already done. So if we control left click on this, you can see this already calls the save method. Very straightforward. So you either have a builder or just the name of whatever it is. All right, I'm going to copy over the rest of them because you'll find that literally you either have a builder or the direct method call, and it's very straightforward. Once again, this would be one of those things where you could very easily make a method, right? It's like create all non-block blocks, right? And then just put in like a different, an item here. It shouldn't be too crazy overall. That is pretty awesome. But yeah, having all of those recipes as well in here, that's going to be a huge time saver too. Definitely recommend it. Now that we have everything done in our DataGen, we can move on to the translation, which honestly, I mean, you know, this is literally just the normal translation. And when it comes to the textures, we have quite a few textures, of course. We have a door bottom, a door top, as well as a trapdoor for the block texture. So that's going to be 3 of them. And then 1 item texture, which is once again going to be the Alexandrite _door. And that's all of the textures that we need. Now you might say, we have so many blocks added. Where are all the other textures? Well, wait a second. Didn't you pay attention right here where I use the block texture of the Alexandrite block over here? That is what we do. So the stairs, the slabs, the button, the pressure plate, the fence gate, the wall, all of those are literally just textured via the Alexandrite block. That's it. You could in theory like basically texture them for any block you want, right? Just put a different block in here and then it's going to use a different texture as its basis. With all of this done though, we can run data over here, and this is going to be the moment where I will be very gratified because you will see the reason. You'll see the reason why DataGen is a very good idea in a lot of cases. I mean, you've already seen this, obviously, but you will see this. First of all, 77 JSON files. That's already crazy. This should already be enough. But now I will show you the craziest JSON file of them all for the button. And you will rejoice that you don't have to type this out or have to copy it and change everything here. Because this is 118 lines of just pure madness, okay? That is what this is. It's pure freaking madness, okay? And not even the door comes close to it. Actually, the door, funnily enough, is actually longer. Well, so much for that because it has 4 different block states properties. All right, fair enough. But the fence isn't that long. You can see the fence is not actually that crazy. I still think the button for what it is pretty crazy. Whatever the case may be, you don't have to do this. You don't have to type this out. You don't have to have multiple different block model files, as you can see for the trapdoor and the stairs and all of this craziness. Like, look at this. Look at this. The door has... What is this, right? The door has like multiple different block model files, like 8 of them over here. That's just ridiculous. And now imagine you have to add like 16 doors. Come on, man. At that point, it's literally just like copy, change a few things, wha-bam, we're in the game. So I'm telling you, in this case, even though sometimes there's going to be future tutorials, I'm pretty sure, where I will complain a little bit about DataGen sometimes because we don't get access to everything from vanilla in Forge. But fair enough. Still, for these blocks, for these non-block blocks, it is a no-brainer using DataGen, in my opinion. There's absolutely no, yeah, it's a no-brainer. But with this done, let's run the client and see our non-block blocks in the game for the first time. Alright, friends, we're back in Minecraft again, and we can see, there we freaking go. We got stairs, we got slabs out here. We have, what else do we have? We have pressure plates, right? Pressure plates, we have got buttons. Now the buttons are going to be a 1 tick. So it's so fast, it doesn't even open it. So you can see, maybe 1 tick is not a good idea. But it should work, though. It should work, right? Like, if I do a redstone, I actually don't know. I'm not a redstone guy. However, let's just see. I can put a lamp in here. Let's see if this is... I think it does work. So there you go. But yes, this is going to be the walls. We can put a fence in there as well. Fence gate, rather. The fence connects to each other, as I have said. And what I will once again show you is that it will connect to the nether brick fence right here as well. But it will not connect to any wooden fence because we've put it into the fences and not the wooden fences block tag. And no, there's no way to disable it connecting to the nether brick fence because otherwise it would, well, otherwise you would have to make it connectable to the wooden fences. So yeah, that's basically the option that you might have. And there you go. You can walk through the door and that is it. That is going to be custom non-block blocks added to Minecraft. As per usual, all of the code is down below, but that's going to be it for this tutorial right here. Next time in this video, we'll talk about block states and block state properties. Hope to see you there. So, yeah,